This is the packaging on the Spider-Man Mary Jane 2-pack. And this is the back. And if you want to see what the text on the back says, you can take a look or pause it over here. And gonna open this up and continue the review. This is a review on the 2-pack out of the package of Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson. And let's take a look. First, it has a lot of accessories, and we'll get to that in a moment. Has a Spidey masked head. And it has 2 fists and 2 web shooting hands. And Mary Jane has the satchel purse bag, which the Hobgoblin and Green Goblin also had, but different colors. And who to review first? We're going to go with Mary Jane here first, because it's the first time she had an action figure in this line, and it is incredible. Hasbro did a fantastic job here, and it looks like they based it on the art of J. Scott Campbell, who draws a fantastic Mary Jane, and I could tell because of the little freckles they gave it and the overall expression that it looks like Campbell's art. And let's take a look. And what really stands out on this figure is the incredible head sculpt that they made, Hasbro. Definitely a top 10 of the female figures that they've made so far. I would think this is in that top 10 list. It's a little darky here. You see the shades of the hair color here. And she was the girlfriend and eventually wife of Spider-Man in the comic books, until Marvel editors changed it around in recent years and they got rid of the marriage. But that's a whole other topic from the comic books. I'll take this off in a second. This they've reused before, again as mentioned, for the Hobgoblin, Green Goblin. No problem. On these type of 2-packs they always have to reuse parts. Totally acceptable here. We'll just leave it off for the rest of the review. It definitely reminds me of that first appearance look for the character, but with the J. Scott Campbell modern art influence. And at first I was thinking, even though I know they reused parts to make it, the jeans, the effect, it looks pretty new because you even see jean pockets in the back. And the shoes, you can see the low cut to it. Looks like it might be a new part as well. This is a part they've reused before, the open hand type look, as well as the fist. Too bad they don't have like a swap out part for like an open hand look, but maybe some other characters, if they match up tone wise, you could swap it out if you have others in your collection. I gotta check that out in the future one day. But it just looks, you know, it's pretty rare that they make civilian action figures for the superhero lines, because they usually don't sell too well. But by putting it as a 2-pack, it really helped get the figure made. And they did a great job at it, Hasbro, because she's one of the main supporting characters in the Spider-Man world, from the comic books and even in the movies. You can see the bottom of the shoes here. It's just supposed to be jeans, a top in black here, but they really have a good representation in terms of the mold that they used. They did a good job on it, Hasbro. It is 6¼ inches tall. And let's take a look at the articulation. The head to the sides, pretty good. The downrange is better than I thought it would be. And the up, not too much up. Ball jointed shoulder area. In, out, up, down. 1 point at the elbow, and you can't spin it. The fist, just go in, out, and you can't spin. And the open hand look, same thing on the ball joint. In, out, you can't spin it. Upper torso, you could go to the sides. Down range, up range, pretty good. Nothing at the waist, so no articulation there. But the hips, ball jointed. In, out, up, down. Swivel thigh cut. Double knee articulation. And the ankles on a pivot can go in, out, and to the sides. Just a really well-made action figure. Mary Jane Watson here. And we're going to move on to the Spider-Man figure here in a second. It is almost 6½ inches tall. What's really fantastic here is for the Spider-Man 616, the main Marvel world, this is the best Peter Parker head sculpt that they've made. Either Toy Biz or Hasbro. They've made a few attempts before Toy Biz and then Hasbro. None of them were really good for a classic look at the character. They made a good ultimate look for the character, but not the classic, and this is the best one. But what's interesting is if you have the Chameleon, which is a separate action figure you have to buy, the Chameleon, or what they call Pizza Spider-Man, because it came with a slice of pizza, and it's arguably Hasbro's best classic costume look for Spider-Man that they've made so far. There's only a few that they've made, but this is either the best or one of the best. This is the Alex Ross temporary costume that's not going to be a classic look. And I'll get to the costume in a second. But what's really nice is if you pop this head out and you get classic Spidey here, you could put it on the classic look. And with Mary Jane. A little wobbly, but it looks cool. And then you get this, the Alex Ross design. And I'll review this more in a second, but you could get that. Classic unmasked look. And Mary Jane. Or even better, if you have the Chameleon, you got now civilian looking Peter Parker out of the costume with Mary Jane for a night out on the town. And you got the Alex Ross costume designed Spider-Man here. So you get all three in a way. If you get the Chameleon, you have the civilian look for Parker, Mary Jane, and you get the Spider-Man Alex Ross costume design. It's a perfect setup in a way. But this is a separate figure, the body mold for the Chameleon, and it fits well. Even the skin tone on the neck and hands pretty much match perfectly. And now I'm going to review the rest of the Spider-Man figure. This has the modern look that Alex Ross has done, used in the books temporarily. It has like a light green glow to the eyes and a glowing spider chest symbol. The arms here, design, it kind of goes up a little bit. They did not color in the peg blue which they should have done, Hasbro. They always forget to color in those pegs. This one is kind of hidden because of the costume. Goes right up to there. But that one stands out. But the costume design here, it goes up a little. This in the back, it's almost the same. Goes down a little more here. But the boots, the design, it goes up to the knee. And again, they didn't color it in blue, the pegs, Hasbro. You see, the design's a little different than... Let's go to the classic look. The chest symbol is different, the eyes, the arms are a little different, and the boots are definitely different. I do like this light blue. The light blue is kind of like a John Romita run light blue that they've used. I like that color, that they did a good job in that. Also, if you look close, hope it shows up, the webbing. The design of the webbing is a little different on this costume. It's a little design-wise, the way they produce it is different. It should be mentioned, even though they use the Pizza Spider-Man body for this figure, the head sculpt is the Superior Spider-Man. They use that head sculpt and they put it here for this 2-pack. And let's check out the accessories here. It has the 2 open hands. It got the 2 fist look for the character. And the 2 web shooting pose hand for the character. So you do have some options in terms of how you want to pose it, but it's always better to mix and match combinations. I'm going to leave it like this. So it's nice they gave you the extra sets of hands. And as mentioned, the unmasked head. You get Mary Jane. But as for the articulation, the head on a ball joint, up range is good, down and to the sides. It has the butterfly joint articulation for the arms. It really helps on posing the arms. Look at that. You get a nice range, and Hasbro doesn't use that too much on figure sculpts. You got ball jointed at the shoulder area as well for good up-down range and in or out. And you got swivel biceps. You got double articulation at the elbow area. The hand on a ball joint can go in, out. You can't swivel it. The torso, good range at down, up, and swivel waist. The ball jointed hips, that's about as far as it goes on side to side. Can go up or down. You got the swivel thighs. Double articulation at the knees. And the feet have a pivot, can go up, down, and to the sides. And going to give my final thoughts about this 2-pack in a moment. So overall, what do I think of the Spider-Man Mary Jane 6-inch 2-pack action figure set? And it is fantastic. Primarily because finally we get a Mary Jane Watson action figure, a huge supporting character in the Spider-Man world, the girlfriend and the wife of Spider-Man until Marvel changed it. And you get the best classic Peter Parker head sculpt in the 6-inch line that they ever made. Toy Biz made a few attempts, and Hasbro from the Ultimate world, but the classic version, they've never got even close to right until this version. I included here at the end the Chameleon and the Pizza Spider-Man, because Hasbro made that. That's probably the best Spider-Man in the classic costume. Chameleon, because if you put the Peter Parker head sculpt here, you could have a classic version of him as a civilian with Mary Jane. And then you could have the Spider-Man head to make the Spidey figure. And or you could flip it on to the classic Spidey suit. Therefore, you have options here. But those are separate figures you have to get. Either one. But the Chameleon is definitely a winner. And so is the Pizza Spidey, even though it's tough to get now as I'm making this video. But on its own right, so many extra options here. And it's just a fantastic two-set. If you're really into the Spider-Man world, then I would say this is a definite must-get. And the only thing that's probably missing in the Spidey world is a classic Gwen Stacy. I know they made it in the Spider-Gwen figure, but the head sculpt was kind of average. And that was made for the teen body mold. Maybe one day they could do a redo, a 2-pack on its own. That would be fantastic. But until then, Spider-Man Mary Jane 2-set, top of the line Hasbro 2-pack, and highly recommend it. And thanks for watching, and talk to you later.